Well, if you thought I was sad on Instant Iowa, I just came to the realization that this is the last week of college football games in Iowa. This is it. Home finales for both Iowa and Iowa State. It's done after this week.
This week this whole season has just flown by, which is crazy because it started so damn early with Ireland.
Yeah, that feels like a long time ago, though.
It feels like 2 seasons ago.
It does. And the way these seasons have ebbed and flowed for both teams.
Exhausting.
Iowa State was way out ahead of Iowa. And then the Cyclones kind of crumble. Iowa's got all these chances, and now here they are in the same exact spot. 6-4.
Is it too early in the week to drink Steeple Ridge?
No.
It's too early in the day.
Brant says this season flew by. For me, it feels like it was long because Iowa State season, I mean, it started a while ago, but it was also in these weird chunks. It was like 3 games and you're off.
I love this season with the buys.
I did too. I
great.
like multiple buys.
I do. And it's always like you can get, man, it gives you a little hope. Man, if we could just get to the buy. It's probably false hope, but yeah, I like it. But you and me, Chris, are just, I think there's a lot of people in our audience that are like us, but not everyone. Like, we're such college football junkies, though. Like, we're up watching these disastrous Mountain West games late at night. You know, like, we like to see everything else going on around the country. I did for the first time. I think I'm going to talk about this and go longer on it on my CW pod. For the first time in my life, I had SEC fatigue this weekend.
Really? How so?
It was
there
like,
were some great SEC
I know.
games.
Oh, don't get me wrong, but I think that I'm finally like jaded enough where, like, I was watching Game Day and they just kept talking about it, and like I just was like, okay, I'm over.
Well,
I'm just gonna watch.
That's the problem.
I know. They just shove it down our throat.
Just watch the games. Don't watch all the hyperbole around the games.
It's hard to avoid. But anyways, we'll talk more about that later. But I'm just. Should we just get the show going?
Let's start the damn show.
Let's just start the damn show.
They say the grass is greener where you water it. For me, that means being loyal, putting in the work, and being part of a community that raised me. Fareway, your home court advantage.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto. Celebrate the power of love. Y Familia. Coming to Casey's Center November 27th through 30th. Tickets on sale now. Visit DisneyOnIce.com today.
Chris Williams, Chris Hassel. 2 Chris's, 1 network. This is 2 Guys. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is 2 Guys. Exclusively on Iowa Everywhere.
We are presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. Holidays are here. Start planning. Turkeys, hams. I will do I like to do the old prime rib on Christmas Eve. Probably didn't dig into that a little bit. Got some great shrimp cocktail at Fareway last week. Enjoyed that over the weekend. Cut it up, put it in the little skillet, and in with the little fettuccine Alfredo for the daughters with the cut up shrimp in it. It was lovely.
That's not shrimp cocktail.
Well, listen. The one didn't like to eat it. She thought it was raw. I was... You know, I was mixing and matching for the kids.
I don't love shrimp when it's cooked like that. I like shrimp cocktail, like that spicy cocktail sauce.
It's good. It's good. Little insight. So in the our partnership with BPC, Visions Publications Corporation, they do that Iowa Stops Hunger podcast, and one of the podcasts we did with Michael Moraine was about a shrimp farm in Iowa. They raise and grow their own shrimp.
I've heard about these people.
And it's supposed to be really good.
I've heard about these people. That's super interesting.
How the hell do you raise shrimp in Iowa?
Well, you get like a tub full of water and you just dump a bunch of salt in it and then you throw the shrimp in there.
Well, how do you start them from scratch? I don't know.
Welcome to the show. We are in the Channel C. I bet Fouch, guys over at Channel C, could make a shrimp farm. Sons of bitches at Channel, they can grow anything. Welcome to the show. I'm just going to start off with what's weighing me down. Well, first of all, this is presented by our friends over at Siouxland Scales. Nick at Siouxland Scales he's a huge Cyclone fan. He probably thinks it's hilarious what's weighing me down this week, and that's you.
Me?
Siouxland Scales, by the way, they do sales, installation, repair, calibration, really heavy stuff, okay? Like, I don't know how else to dumb it down for you guys. We're not talking about, like, stepping on a scale. This is like farm equipment, that type of stuff. SiouxlandScales.com. SiouxlandScale.com. Check them out. Locations in Sioux City, Des Moines, Fort Dodge, and Spencer. I was seriously worried about you on Sunday night.
Saturday night?
Saturday night. I was either your text messages were either incredibly angry, like really, really intense anger, or they were like deep sadness. And it was like, oh my God, like, is Chris okay? Instant Iowa was, look at that picture. I mean, that's just
that was a
I don't
tough
know
show
who's
to do.
happy with that outcome. USC, the officials, the broadcast crew, or Iowa State fans.
I officially complained about every single thing. Blaming the officials, the broadcast crew, Iowa State fans all over. I made it one of the most watched Instant Iowas of all time because Iowa State fans are sitting there with nothing.
We didn't have anything to do. Like,
you guys love that shit.
I was, God, you were, and that was coming off the Cox loss. And then my best friend is just, withering in his self-pity all night. And I didn't know, like, I can't walk across the street and check on you. You just disappear for an hour and then you come back and you're even more drunk than you were when you were, like, it really weighed me down. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. That game took a lot out of me. I think it was the culmination of that like 8 or 9 day stretch, going back to Iowa, being in the rain for that game against Oregon, just having your heart ripped out while I'm on the field there, just getting soaked. And then the horrible trip back. I get stuck in Dallas.
The bridge.
And then you've got this game where Iowa jumped out to a 14-point lead, and you feel like, okay, this is actually going to happen. They are going to snap this streak, and we aren't going to have to talk about this losses to ranked teams anymore. And then USC just starts chipping away. You play defense about as good as you can, and that freaking wide receiver, Lemon, is just so damn good. He changes the game on his own. And you come so close in so many different ways, and it ends up being a toenail, basically, that ends up clinching the game for USC. It was heartbreaking, and it was the culmination and the accumulation of all these heartbreaks throughout the season. I don't ever remember being this heartbroken this many times in one season, at least not in the last 10 years. That 2010 season was similar to this, but this felt different because this was supposed to be the narrative busting season. This was supposed to be the year you have all of these chances and you get so many of them at home. And they had the team to do it. And they somehow didn't win any of them.
You almost feel like you're going to luck into one of these. Like
that's the other thing.
Generally how sports go.
Luck, the bounces always went the other way. Go all the way back to the Iowa State game. that pass that was tipped.
It's a bad call on the punt, but other than that, yeah.
What? What are you talking
You
about?
guys got the free possession.
Oh, shut the hell up. What are you talking about?
No,
Got a free possession.
Second quarter, the punt botch, the botch
Oh,
punt.
come on.
Should have been an interference on the Iowa guy.
The football
I was
gods
saying you conveniently forgot that one, but go ahead.
were not on Iowa's side this season. And all it took was a toenail,
Oh, what a picture!
a
that is.
fingertip,
Look at 96.
anything.
Look at the reaction on Two's face right there.
And it's just now there's nothing you can do. Like these last 2 weeks against Michigan State and a Dylan Raiola-less Nebraska team, that really does nothing for the program.
Yeah, if you lose it, people will say
It could only do damage. Those two games can only do more damage. You should win them both. Bowl game, I don't care if they play a ranked team. That's not going to matter. That's not going to – maybe on paper it snaps a streak of losing to ranked teams, but that's not – bowl games don't count anymore. I'm sorry. They just don't. And Mark Gronowski's legacy, like he could have been an all-timer.
that's the thing that is so fascinating / disappointing about this year is by all means he's what he was billed as.
Oh yeah.
Like the leader, an insane runner, great football instincts.
But what's the main thing about him? He's a winner. He wins games for whatever reason
exactly.
this year.
I will say
it wasn't
this,
always his fault.
the objective football viewer in me, I don't trust him dropping back in third down situations. He's not horrible, but he's not
a top 10 passer in the Big Ten.
No, but that would be the one.
But he's a top 10 quarterback.
Yes,
in the Big
absolutely agree with you.
And look,
Absolutely.
he
easily
made-
a top 10.
He made the plays really when he needed to. I mean, he didn't at Iowa State. I give him a pass on that because they just did. That was a horrible game plan. They weren't letting him be himself.
And like honestly, like he was always going to be better in mid-October than he was going to be in early September.
Well, they would have won the game against Indiana had he not gotten hurt. Got knocked out of that game, and that cost Iowa the game. Then against Oregon, what does he do? He drives the team 93 yards to take the lead. Defense gives up the game-winning field goal. And then this week, he made the throw to Weegan. That was a great throw. Weegan just happened to get pushed just enough to not get his entire foot down inbounds. It was a little bit of everything. Like the defense certainly let them down at times this season, but the defense was good enough. Special teams let them down at times. Drew Stevens missed field goal, bad snap, a bad snap on a punt. Reese Dakin is not great. And all those little things just added up. They were always right there at the end of these games and just couldn't finish it. And to be up 14, Williams, I went back and I looked at since they last blew a 14-point lead in 2020, COVID season against Northwestern. I went back and looked at all 32 games that they had a 14-point lead since then. And not a single one of those games did Iowa even give up the lead. The closest anybody got was 5 points. That's it. This never happened. This doesn't happen to Iowa. But when you take a step up in competition,
That's the key. They weren't playing this schedule then.
Yeah.
Everybody has
Yep.
to acknowledge that. I'm
Yep.
sorry. I'm not throwing salt in the wounds. It is
it's true.
difference.
It's true.
This
It's
is
true.
a big boy
But
schedule.
This is why you are a fan. You want to be impacted this much emotionally by games. I felt like Iowa was kind of insulated from that because it was either you were getting your ass kicked by a ranked team or you were beating a shitty Big Ten West team. I really have enjoyed this season's schedule because it's given Iowa so many different chances to do something really special. And they had a chance to win all of the games, all of them, and probably should have won a couple of them. It just didn't happen. And it's heartbreaking, but I really, as hard as it was to endure those losses, I really enjoyed the season. I did. I haven't been this invested in a season in a long time. And it's because of the team. I really like this team. And it's because of the schedule.
You put out a tweet on Saturday night or shortly after the game that really resonated with me. I don't know if Matt can pull it up, but you said...
Well, I quote tweeted what I said earlier in the game, that this is my favorite Iowa team since 2009. And I was getting killed by a lot of...
For this tweet?
Yeah, for saying this is my favorite team since the 2009 team. Because, well, you had teams just a couple years ago that accomplished so much more. The 2015 team went undefeated. Okay, this is my opinion. I just really like this team. I like the makeup. I love Mark Gronowski at quarterback. I haven't had this much investment and this much fun watching Iowa football since 2009.
Well, and some of it may be about more than just the team, too, because you've been clamoring for years that you're tired of the shit schedule.
Right.
You wanted to play the real teams in the Big Ten, and like you're getting that. So a lot of it is probably compounded by that. Plus, you finally have a competent quarterback. You add it all together, and it's just much more enjoyable, albeit the results aren't going to be there. I feel that same way about this year's Iowa State squad. Like, that's why it was that BYU game that just crushed me. Like, I was out of it. Like, I couldn't handle it anymore. Because I like this group of players.
Mm-hmm.
I like the style that they play. And it's when it just doesn't come together, it just hurts more. Like, there's some of these teams that will follow. I just don't like them that much. It's like there's been Iowa State basketball teams like that. Ones that is just like I was just way more invested in than others.
I mean, like the Deacon Hill team that went 10-2.
Yeah, it's like, how
that
do you,
defense
like-
was fun. That Cooper DeJean fun. But
Nobody's sitting around 15
God,
years
that
from now
offense
like
was
being
horrible.
like, man, you remember that Deacon Hill team? They won 10 games. This will be a season that you guys are talking about in 15 years, like the what if, like all the different things that just slip through your fingers. Well, don't let you're going to be traveling. Don't let a nail in your tire or something like that. Don't let that slip through your fingers. Go to our friends at Freedom Tire. Get this shit checked out, guys. Before you start throwing
You're
the family-
talking about Freedom Tire like it's a colonoscopy. Guys, you got to get this checked out.
Getting your tires replaced is a pain in the ass, though. But,
It is.
But
It's
Freedom
like a
Tire will make it
colonoscopy.
easy. They will.
It is like a colonoscopy, but at least Quentin will bring you a cup of coffee and you can have a nice chat. Up in Ames, Altoona, Des Moines, West Des Moines, Urbandale, Altoona, freedomtire.com.
Yeah, you don't have to fast for a tire rotation or getting new tires, right?
This
Why
is
did
true.
you fast the other day? What
Yeah,
was that about?
tell us
Oh,
about your fasting
for fun?
situation. Yeah.
For funsies?
Didn't we talk about this?
No.
Well,
thought-
you
I
said
thought we did.
you said you did it. You just wanted to challenge yourself.
Yeah, so I usually
bets?
I try to do intermittent fasting during the week where I eat dinner, at whatever 5, 6 o'clock, and then I don't eat anything until maybe 11 a.m. or so the next morning. Not a thing. I'll have coffee black. That's it. And that's worked for me to try to keep weight off for a few years. And I've talked to some people that love to fast, and they say it works wonders. I do read every now and then, not books, but articles, that the longer you can fast, the more of these horrible little toxins your body will kill off.
Really?
And it can even help with your long-term health. So I went 24 hours, actually 24 and a half hours for the first time. I could easily do 18, but 24 was taking it to the next level. And then I just absolutely devoured that prime rib. Just devoured it. Probably had 3,000 calories in that one meal, but it was worth it.
Cuck Norris is watching. He says nothing like clocking in on a Monday morning to sit on the can and listen to Chris and Chris.
We had another, Queef Wellington was, entered his name into the chat.
Thought this was a good tweet. I wrote on X, and I mean this, there's a reason why 15 to 20,000 fans take in Instant Iowa every week on Iowa Everywhere. Hassel and Downs are honest, authentic, and fun. That's the recipe. That's what fans want. And Queef Wellington responds and says, claiming the officials were happy is authentic. LMAO. Okay.
Did one of us say that the officials were happy with the result? I mean,
Yeah,
I guess I did
Downs-
say that's true. I did start the show by saying that.
Everybody's happy. The officials,
Obviously, that's
the announcers.
tongue in cheek, but
Then Mike Williams chimed in. He goes, "What's the first thing you think of when you see these numbers? 0 and 13."
did my dad ever respond to that?
No, but your dad was taunting me when the Bears beat the Vikings yesterday.
I sent that that screenshot of Mike's post to my dad on Saturday night, and he has not responded.
My dad,
He hasn't. That's the last thing I sent him. Look, hasn't responded.
my dad has a running checklist of how many games in a row Iowa has lost against ranked opponents. I'm not kidding.
I heard some people say that was Iowa State's biggest win of the season.
No, it was beating Iowa.
No.
Like
This
We
seemed
beat
even
you.
bigger.
we beat you. Like both teams are 6-4, and one team beat the other one head to head.
That is a good conversation to have
Like,
when the
I mean,
season
it's-
is done. Who's going to end up having the more successful season? And I think that the scale is going to tip to Iowa State because of the head-to-head win.
Well, tap the brakes because they need to win the next two, and then it would absolutely be the case, I think.
If both teams win out, finish 8-4, Iowa would have the better conference record in a tougher conference, but Iowa State would have the head-to-head win.
And you beat. Yeah, I'm going to keep hammering this, and I know that it makes me look soft in many ways, but we have to enjoy things. It can't just be all about, oh, we didn't get to the playoff. Like Iowa State, if that would be the case, the win in Ireland against your other rival has to be worth something. Like that matters.
Yep. And Iowa's blowout over Minnesota and
Yeah,
blowout
like
over
those are-
Wisconsin. That matters.
Enjoy the good moments. Okay, so we'll start to look ahead. Actually, before we look ahead at next week, I wanted to go long on something about this Iowa USC game. Let's do it, baby.
It's time to go long with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
That's actually a really good lead-in. We were talking about the colonoscopies. Nobody wants to like sit, do taxes, that type of stuff. My guy Tim at Wealth Charter is a great dude. I love getting together with him. He's very wise, and he's just cool. And he owns Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax. They simplify your finances. I know it's like pulling teeth to like think about that stuff, but we are coming on the end of the year. Think about our guys. We appreciate them sponsoring Chris and Chris. I just wanted to, again, I had no dog in this fight on Saturday. I was I was invested because of all of like my friends and being in the state of Iowa, but I thought that was truly one of the worst broadcasts for a big game that I've ever seen in college football all the way around. I was not influenced by any of you guys either. Like I was taking notes on this in the second quarter. I almost felt the announcers were like boisterous towards USC. And on top of that, like, so we commentated on this Thursday night. that I thought it was super weird. And there's all these rules in these television contracts that teams have to be on. You can't play so many night games. Big Ten Network has to have every team, all this stuff. So you explained it very well on Thursday why this game ended up on Big Ten Network. If I'm an executive at Fox in the Big Ten Network, I see this as a huge opportunity. I'm pushing some chips in, man. We're going to go out because we're going to have bigger ratings for this game, 2 top 20 teams, playoff implications. We are going to overdo it here to make sure this is our best broadcast of the season to build for our future. And everything from the cameras to the presentation to the announcers, I thought this was like a JV broadcast. And I don't watch a lot of Big Ten Network games. Generally, Iowa's on, the lowest they'll drop to is like FS1 these days. And I don't count basketball because there's so many games. I cut them a ton of slack. It's a very basic, bare bones broadcast for basketball generally. I just thought this was very unbecoming of a top 25 Big Ten football game. And you know more about this than me. You and Keith and Van Winkle loves it from the camera production and all that stuff. But you compare like what that is to like what TNT is doing with those Big 12 games that are way down the docket. It's a different hemisphere, dude. Like I thought it was a really poor broadcast, and I was disappointed because I thought BTN would kind of lean into this as a great opportunity, and I didn't think that they did that.
It was disappointing. You're spot on in everything you said, and I don't like going after broadcast crews or networks or anything like that. I was really surprised at the crew that they sent to this game, who they admitted that the main play-by-play guy on that crew just had a kid. So they had to have a fill-in play-by-play guy who is an LA guy, works at NFL Network, and usually just does sideline for college games. And the color commentator is also a noted Pac-12 West Coast guy. For a game like that, I do not think that's acceptable when you have a top 25 matchup, like you noted, in that spot. If you're going to get a game like that, great. Put your best foot forward. They had a much better production in the game before, and that was the Indiana game, which Indiana's undefeated, but it's a blowout game. You knew that was going to be a blowout for Indiana. I've seen really good productions from the Big Ten Network where they have drones up in the air, and they didn't have a first down line for the first quarter of this game. And most importantly, they just did not follow any Iowa storyline in this game. You kept hearing about all these injuries that USC had. I mean, I had to find out on social media and via text about all the injuries that Iowa was sustaining in this game.
Good point. They
didn't have their starting 2 guards. That's not something that you can just immediately see when you're watching the game as a fan with the angles that they're giving you, especially maybe it's that low camera angle. It's hard to even see the numbers on the players. That was disappointing, and I hope that they feel like that was a miss that they can correct moving forward, because you get a big spot like that, and it was a big spot for USC is right in the playoff race. That was one of the biggest games Lincoln Riley has had there, and you could tell by the way he celebrated, and it was a close game throughout, and it didn't meet the moment. And I don't think that they're openly rooting for USC, but they can't help their background. They're West Coast people that have been following USC and not necessarily the Big Ten. But they brought these guys in when USC and Oregon and those teams joined the Big Ten, and they knew they were going to have West Coast games. So instead of finding people all over the country to send out west, you find people out west that are familiar with those new teams to call your games where they don't have to travel as far. And yeah, that usually works. And I think that they do a pretty good job overall. But in this game, no. This was like a Pac-12 broadcast crew of an Iowa USC football game.
Yeah, and again, I do have some I have some sympathy for them in the sense that they do so many games.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand you can't just go all out. Like TNT has one game, so that
Right.
probably is not a great example.
CBS one Big Ten game.
I get it. But
And it was a 6-day hold window. That had to be part of it. But from everything I was hearing going into that Iowa-Oregon game, it certainly sounded like Iowa USC was going to be on Big Ten Network. So I think they had to know this was a real possibility more than a week out.
you just got to lean into the opportunity, and it felt very much like an 11 a.m. Penn State is getting ready to bloody up Villanova as far as what they put into that thing, right? Like that's in September.
Disappointing.
Even like, I don't know. I don't need to go too much more on it, but I was really disappointed. Like they kept showing people in ponchos and stuff, but let's talk about this generational storm that's in Southern California.
It was just, it's raining. It never rains here.
No, it's like a huge deal. It's like people could die, right? Like there was a lot happening there, but okay.
And field conditions, and they didn't really get into the cleat story, which I think was an interesting one where Iowa players they mentioned it, but like Iowa players can choose their own cleats, and USC, they had played in some rain games. They could have gone deeper into a lot of these things, and they had the opportunity. The game before ended 45 minutes before this game started. And so I was watching the pregame coverage.
Yeah.
They could have done a lot more. They mostly just did postgame.
Well, let's check in on our locks. How do we do? Let's see how we did with our picks. Statty Van Winkle. I went 2-2. Kept me at 28-17 on the year. Hassel's just inching up.
I went 4-2. How about those Penn State Nittany Lions? I'm telling you, folks, those of you that have followed me, you've made some nice money these last couple of weeks. Penn State easily covering that 7.5 at Michigan State.
Gun to your head right now, who do you think's their head coach next year?
Oh, man.
Kind of feels like we've lost this storyline with everything else that's happened in college football.
It's such a crapshoot, and more things are going to happen. I still think Mike Norvell could be fired by Florida State, which opens up another huge job. Man, I don't know.
Sorry, I just put you on the spot.
Who would you pick?
I would pick, I think, the offensive coordinator at Ohio State.
Now, who's that? Hartline?
Ryan? Yeah. I think that's the guy I would go with. Young. I think that in today's college football, like having previous head coaching experience is less valuable than it used to be. I think you bring in a guy, it's kind of like the Kirby Smart hire at Georgia. You bring in the guy who knows the system of the big dog. I think that's who I would do if I were them. I don't know.
I think that thing could go anywhere.
Look at Matty Van
Wait a
Winkle
second.
on fire.
Yeah.
What? You didn't have that in. You slid in
you
the 49ers.
added the
Cardinals.
49ers
That wasn't
game
on
at the
your
end.
Remember the
slate.
end of the show? Remember the end of the show?
That's not real.
I said, can I sneak in a lock? And you said, sure.
That does sound like something Hassel would say.
I got the tape.
And that's the difference between you going over 500 too.
Yeah, I would have been right at 500. I went 3-1. Kansas State let me down a little bit, but good week.
Good
overall.
pick on the West Virginia game, Matty.
Thank
That was
you.
a great call.
Yeah, I
BYU
tailed that
just
as well.
flexing their muscle.
Yeah, that was a really great call. All right,
Man,
Wild Rose Casinos.
BYU TCU. Holy, what the hell? Why was that? They hoodwinked me on that spread.
Well, that was just one of those deals, though, Chris, where you just, if you're smart, like you do what we did every time, and you're going to win more often than you lose.
And take
but you're not
TCU.
Going, yes,
I think it closed at -2.5.
it did, but
or
you
+2.5.
You
TCU
have
at BYU.
If you do it every time, you're going to win more than you lose. But you're not going to win every time. Like, whenever Vegas is telling you to do it, like, Matt got lucky there.
That was a
Matt.
piss
Oh,
pounding.
screw you.
Matt went against the
BYU had
percentages.
everything to play for. What are you talking about?
Can we talk about the Big 12 real quick? Because BYU, Texas Tech, and Utah all had great wins where they just shit-pounded their opponents. And,
They did. They had a great weekend on the field.
But the problem is
Yeah.
this Oklahoma beating Alabama, and I'm going to give Oklahoma some flowers here in my triple B, but we'll get to that. It's really painting the picture now where the SEC is going to make the claim that they should get 5, which would eliminate a Big 12 team.
Honestly, man, I think 6 is possible from
Really?
the SEC. Because if the Big 10 doesn't get a 4th, like if Michigan doesn't beat Ohio State, or if USC loses to Oregon, which is likely, like where's that 4th team coming from out of the Big 10?
Good point. From a strictly Big 12 standpoint, this is disappointing to me, though, because I actually feel like the Big 12 this year like legitimately has 2 teams that are worthy to compete for a national championship. I think you could put definitely Texas Tech or Utah up against anybody, and they could compete. I think Texas Tech could win the national title. I think that Utah could beat a lot of those teams. BYU, I'm less convinced, but they always surprise me. But that's what sucks about this. Like, I'm completely embracing myself for the Big 12 to only get 1. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But
You're
like,
embracing yourself. You're hugging yourself.
embracing my yeah.
Yes, because I'm starting to see it.
Do you
now.
think Utah could? I think Utah could beat a lot of these teams.
I do. You know, they're sitting there right on the edge of playoff territory, but you've got to remember, and you guys talked about it on Williams and Bloom, you're going to get some team from the American or the Sun Belt that's not in the top 15 that's going to get in. You could also get an ACC team that's not, like Georgia Tech could be that team. They're not a top 12 team at this point. So really, you have to be, if you're not ranked in the top 10 as an at-large, you don't have a shot. And Oklahoma, they're in if they win out. Now, that's a big if. You know, they still have a couple home games, I think Missouri and LSU. Alabama is still going to get in. Like Alabama, as long as they don't lose to Auburn, which is not going to happen, they're in. And here are a couple of the problems here and why I could see 6. Vanderbilt only has 2 losses. They've got Kentucky and Tennessee to finish the season. An SEC team at 10-2 is in. Remember last year when the 3-loss SECs got left out and what a stink they made? If Vanderbilt wins out, they're going to go to the playoff at 10-2. And then there's Texas. 3 losses, yes. But they host Texas A&M to finish the season. They could be sitting there at 9-3 with 3 top 10 wins. Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and a 7-point loss at Ohio State to start the season. And they're going to be lobbying, hey, we challenged ourselves.
The problem is it'll be hard to argue against them.
Yeah, against a 9-3 Texas team with those wins.
It would be very difficult to make a intelligent argument against them. But again, we just get to this thing in college football where it's like, well, our losses are better than yours. Right? Like
your Iowa Hawkeyes.
Right? Like, and
great
it's
losses.
just like, yeah, but who have you beat? And then, but Texas actually can win that argument against about anybody.
So that's why I could see 16. If Texas was able to beat Texas A&M, I think they have a good chance of getting in. You know, if you're looking at 9-3 Texas versus 10-2 Utah, I think Texas gets that nod.
Matt, can you pull up my poll from this week, courtesy of our friends over at Big Grove? I almost, Chris, I didn't do it. I almost moved Texas A&M to 2 ahead of Indiana.
What?
That was so impressive. Getting down the way that
but
they
you
did.
also have to factor in that they got behind.
I know, I get it, but every week I keep telling myself, like, it's kind of like BYU last year where I'm like, oh, A&M has to lose a game. They have to lose a game. They have to lose a game. And then they just keep finding ways to win.
The thing about A&M is their wins are against all the bottom teams in the conference. Like all of their wins.
It's a good point.
Are against.
I didn't do it. I kept
now they beat
Indiana
Notre Dame in the
at
non-con. Let's not forget about that. But
and I still feel like I have Texas Tech at 6, but I think they're just as good as any of these teams. Maybe not Ohio State. They may be on a different level. We'll find out. But it's because I had Ole Miss ahead of them at the beginning of the year. But the top 9, I think, is just really, really, really solid football. Like we could have a really fascinating playoff. I feel like we're not going to have as many blowouts in the playoff as we did last year.
I certainly hope not. I think Ohio State and Indiana can certainly blow a bunch of teams out. I don't know. These SEC teams are so hard to. God, Georgia has some incredible wins.
God, Georgia was so good on Saturday night.
Ole Miss they've skated by on a couple. I don't know. I might put Texas Tech ahead of Ole Miss.
Do you think? I think Tech would beat Ole Miss.
I would put Texas Tech 5, Ole Miss 6.
I want Texas Tech or to play Texas A&M or Texas or like so badly to bring back some of these old games. It's really difficult right now to do, especially like. I mean, like when you get to like the Vanderbilt, Miami, Michigan, Texas conversation, it's really difficult to rank these teams. I'm finding. I feel like I probably should have Texas ahead of Michigan, to be honest. But it's like, then again, you're rewarding these teams for having great losses, which I hate doing.
Right.
But that's just kind of the state of the sport. Unfortunately, we're diving right into the Triple B. We've kind of let ourselves into Kelderman Manufacturing.
Bigger, better, bolder. Built by Kelderman Manufacturing.
I'll start.
Just dragging these bees all over your face.
I'm going to go with Oklahoma and the season that they are having and that win. Venables and this program has done a hell of a turnaround since last year, and it really is. Now, I did play their season win total over, so they've.
What was their win total?
Dude, it was like 7.5 or 8. It was like really low. Like,
well, I mean, they only won 2 SEC games last year.
But this has been a really great, and their defense is so good, and they own Bama right now. It's just like you got to give them.
It is. That was one of my locks. I thought Bama would, after last season losing to a bad Oklahoma team. You're right. Venables has their number.
I mean, it looked like he was almost assuredly going to get fired unless they had a season like this. And props to him and Oklahoma. Very deserving to be Kelderman's Triple B this week. By the way, Kelderman was at an Aaron Lewis concert last night.
When isn't he at an Aaron Lewis concert?
Oh, man. He texted me at like 11. I'm rubbing Elise's back in bed, and he's like, hey, you ready for a FaceTime? He's playing China.
Oh, God.
I'm like, just send me a video. Where are you going?
I'm going to stick in the SEC with Texas A&M and coming back to win that game.
Painful.
And it was how fast they did it. It was 30-3 at halftime. And in the next 20 minutes of game time, they've got the lead. Like usually, if you're down 27 points, you feel like every single thing has to go your way just to get a chance in the end to pull this out. Texas A&M took the lead with 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They scored 4 straight touchdowns in the second half. And I've never seen a collapse like that quickly from a team that was just rolling like South Carolina was.
I think Shane Beamer would be good to go and get Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
He has completely lost this fan base. That game, even if they had won that, it would have been a Band-Aid. Like he needs to get out, because even if he stays, you have another year you're going to get fired. Go and get your Virginia Tech job now. And I think he's a fine coach. I just think that it's completely gone off the rails there. You have a guy at quarterback who was like a projected top 5 pick, and now it looks like you've ruined him. I'm sure he'll bounce back in some capacity, but that's the perception, right? He needs to get out and just go take Virginia Tech if he can get it.
I was going to give you I might have given you the triple B had Texas A&M lost this game, because it was 3-0 South Carolina, and you sent me a text. You said South Carolina's going to win this game, and they're up 30-3 at halftime.
Looked pretty good for a while.
Jesus, what a weird season for your
South
Cox.
Carolina. That's the thing. It's like they have good players. They have talent. Their dudes can compete with anyone. It's just it's a little bit like Iowa, just more on an extreme, right?
Did you see the? I'm sure you did. It was all over social media. That like state trooper guy that was getting into it with South Carolina players after a touchdown.
I did. I think he's probably going to get fired.
Yeah,
right?
I mean they pulled him off of game day duty, and now who knows? Maybe there's more to the story. But that
SEC
looked
football,
really bad.
baby.
Yeah,
it just means more. I also realized over the weekend how much people hate Texas A&M in general. It feels like
because of all the weird stuff that they do, like the gig 'em. I've been down there a few times. It's a cool place, but there's some weirdness.
I never realized it when they were in the Big 12, just like how disliked they.
I kind of didn't realize how disliked they were, but I did notice it when I covered an Iowa State Texas A&M game in 07 or 08, and just being on the field and seeing their like little leader boys, and what they're and their band and their fans.
You kind of just want to go and punch those guys, right? Like
it's unlike anything that you see anywhere else, and I don't know what it is other than a cult.
It's kind of cool. I mean, that they have all these traditions.
Hey, they love their team.
Yeah. But everybody's calling them I got so many text messages from just random people I haven't heard from in years, because everybody knows that South Carolina is like my second favorite team. And all these people are like, kick that Colts ass, let's go. And I'm like, thought it was interesting. Matt, who's your God,
yeah, you don't even have to.
Better, bolder, built by Kelderman Manufacturing.
That was perfect.
You like that?
Matt, if your wife gave you a hall pass, would you have sex with Brock Purdy? Seriously,
you know what I love
serious.
the most about Brock Purdy? Oh, I love how he just silences the haters, man. Like, what was the narrative the last 2 months? Mac Jones go.
It is.
Tom I love it.
Matt, take your fandom out of this. Okay, I'm gonna help prove your point. Okay.
Okay.
It is crazy. I'm sure there are other examples of this in sports, but and I know that you and me are too close to it. Like, I know Brock on a personal level. He's your favorite quarterback from like college, and now he's on your team. So like, you're just immersed in it. He can do no wrong in your eyes. We are too close to this. But I want to ask Chris this, because Chris covers sports day to day on a much larger scope than we do. I have a really hard time thinking of a player who is doubted, and it almost seems like the national pundits are just rooting against it. I don't know if they're rooting against, but they're always looking for a reason for this guy to fail.
It doesn't make sense. It's the best story in the NFL.
Well,
isn't it?
Chris,
last pick in the
can
draft?
you enlighten us? Like, is there another one you can think of like Purdy? Because it's always something where people want to see this guy fall off. Tebow, maybe. Yeah, that was a decent example.
I think most of it stems from the draft evaluation.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you.
A lot of these people don't want to be as wrong as they were about him.
Okay.
When you you said he wasn't going to be an NFL quarterback. And then all of a sudden, not only is he an NFL quarterback, he is leading his teams to wins and getting a huge contract. And I just think a lot of people don't want to let go what they originally thought of him, which is that he just doesn't have it.
What else does he have to prove other than winning a Super Bowl? Like,
I think that's it. I mean, I think that's what it is. And another reason is that Kyle Shanahan's his coach.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just think whoever is in at quarterback, I mean, you kind of saw it from Mac Jones, is going to have a lot of success with that scheme and with a player like Christian McCaffrey around him.
It works the other way, though. It's funny, you talked about being more engaged with the Hawks than in however many. I'm so disengaged with the Vikings for the same reason. This isn't fair. I was talking with Jason Luch yesterday about this. I'm like, God, what do we do with this McCarthy? And he's like, he's a rookie. You have to give him time. And I agree with that. But when you play for these guys like Shanahan and O'Connell and you just suck and you're inaccurate, like I've seen really bad quarterbacks come into these systems, and this is the Leach in me coming out. Like there's certain coaches where all you have to do is be accurate with the football and you will have success. And Brock was able to do that impeccably from day one, and he's the best leader. That's why they drafted him, was because of his leadership abilities. He's the perfect guy to bring into your clubhouse as Mr. Irrelevant. And it works against guys too, because like I'm looking at McCarthy now and I'm like, shit, like bring in Mac Jones. There's no way the Vikings wouldn't have 7 wins right now if Mac Jones was their quarterback.
They did it with Darnold, and
I know, like that's my point. Is like we've seen it with these types of coaches over and over again. So it does work against Brock.
Yeah.
But
I would say to the haters, just listen to what his teammates say. Like I think I retweeted like what Kittle had to say about him, like Christian McCaffrey. Like these guys will go to war for this guy. Look at his first touchdown pass to Kittle too. He's back.
It was a dime. Like
Well, they should string together several wins. They've got a soft schedule coming up. They've got the Panthers. I think that's Monday night.
The NFC West
week
is really tight right now. The Rams have a slight lead right now, but Seahawks are right there. The
Rams look really good. Yeah. They're at the Browns and then the Titans the next 3 weeks. Panthers, Browns, Titans. So they should stay in this race.
Well, I'm glad Brock's back because I can't stand to watch the Vikings anymore. I will, but I fucking hate that team.
Hey, you almost beat the first place Bears.
How about that?
I mean, they should have won the game by like 17. You got guys dropping
did not see much of the game.
You got
I went to the beach yesterday.
Oh, good for you.
I had to get out of the house. Well, my wife was like, we've got to get out of the house.
It's because of what you were like on Saturday. Do you know you called me at 1:30 in the morning? It was like 2:30 your time.
Yeah?
Okay.
Why?
Why? Why did you do that?
Because you were being an ass.
I fell asleep.
Yeah, I was up. I placed a very irresponsible bet on Fresno State that came through for me.
That was an ultimate Hail Mary.
Every now and then, it pays to be stupid. Not very often.
That's the one. We like to do this thing with our friend Coop where we do these live bets, and every now and then you have a really good night, but more often than not, if you just stick to what you did on Saturday morning, you're going to be in better shape.
Yes. Not this time though.
Those live bets are sharp though. Like when you're on the DraftKings, like they always are putting in these like crazy hooks and stuff. Like they are generally, if you just go against the opposite of the momentum of the game, you'll probably do better. One of the things I've learned over the years doing that. Shout out to the Kapersky Bros. Everybody's starting to think about Christmas, holidays, wives, gifts, husbands, lands. What?
The fact that you say that it's a great gift for
your
wife
gift
to get them the Kapersky brothers.
Oh, well,
it's just
My wife would be thrilled to be like, "Hey, I'm hiring these guys, and they're going to come landscape the backyard for us." She would be like, "Oh, that's an amazing gift." I'm just trying to encourage our audience to support one of our great partners in the those daggum Kaburski brothers, and you can hire them for your snow removal too. There you have it. Iowa Event Center, Maddie Van Winks. What's coming up? Oh,
man.
Hawks and Bucknell.
Hawkeyes, Bucknell. Yeah, I love when these teams coming back and play in Des Moines. Hawkeyes coming. I think it's December 20th. Hosting.
Do you remember
Bucknell,
the year
presented
that
by
they
Casey.
did the women's game with the men's game, and there was like 20 people for the men's game, and then
Yeah.
the place was sold out for the women's game on the same day?
Caitlin Clark.
Really?
Hey,
good,
Hawks, they looked really good on
yeah.
Friday. They really did. Like they look like, to me, very early, they look like an NCAA tournament team.
They do.
Yeah. I mean, Sturts is everything he was. I mean, we've all seen him play, so it's not like this is a big surprise. There's a reason why he's a projected first-round draft pick, but they're really good.
I've actually been more locked into watching Ben McCullum on the sideline than I
you were
have
just-
watching the players on the court. I love it. Just seeing him get pissed and then not wait. Like there was a horrible effort on defense. Iowa comes down, scores to go up probably 15 or whatever. He immediately calls timeout just to get after one of his players for what they did on the defensive end, the previous possession.
Yeah, and you're not used to that.
No, it just doesn't. That,
It's like a
that
different
didn't happen
world.
for 15 years.
Dare I say it, Chris?
What?
Let's get mad again, baby. Let's get mad again.
How did Fran McCaffrey do over the weekend?
We need to have a
I'll
Fran
get an update.
tracker.
Yeah,
We
Fran
really do.
tracker. Let's get that sponsored.
Matt, can we do this? Can we have a McCaffrey tracker?
Penn did not play over the weekend. They played
Oh,
today.
good
So
weekend
We'll get an
for Fran.
update. We'll get an update.
Oh, today. Okay.
St. Joseph's.
So
Oh, they'll lose that game.
this is a shitty week. Like Iowa and Iowa State, they don't play anybody.
Stonehill College comes to Ames tonight.
What the hell is Stonehill College?
Matt, can you look up
Is that-
Stonehill College?
It's got to be D2, right? That's not
No,
D1.
they're D1.
What?
They're the 324th ranked team on KenPom. I looked it up today. Iowa State should be about a 33-point favorite.
What do you think their mascot is?
The Stonehill Eagles.
The Skyhawks.
Hey, you're close. The
Boji
Hawks.
Randy said Stonehill Stoners. That would have been better.
Let's see.
Is that Randy
Stonehill
Peterson?
It's
College.
got to be.
Yeah.
Ooh, they're 1-4 on the year.
Oh my God, they lost to Fairfield and Loyola, Maryland.
Hey, they gave DePaul a game.
They did. At DePaul, only lost by 8. What's the spread tonight?
Iowa State was a 32-point favorite on KenPom. So, I mean, you're looking probably at 33, 34-point spread.
39.5.
Oh,
So this is what.
well, next week it gets real.
So the net is going to reward Iowa State more for a 45-point win over Stonehill than they would if Iowa State went to Drake and beat them by 10.
Yes. And it would crush you if you lost to Drake.
Like, I don't blame the coaches. I blame the committee for valuing this metric system.
But again, it gets real next week because a week from today,
Oh, yeah,
Iowa
it
State
does.
plays
You're
St.
right.
John's.
Yep.
Week from tomorrow is Creighton, and then they're going to have another loaded game in that third game. We don't know who that will be against. So it'll start next week is one of the best weeks, I think. in all
I don't
sports.
know. I haven't followed Creighton, but I've seen a lot of stuff on social media where they're pissed at these Iowa transfers, especially Owen Freeman.
because they don't play defense. I'm serious. I've watched them. I watch McDermott's games all the time. I religiously. Like, they don't play defense. Did you see Price Sanford for Nebraska? He had 29 against Oklahoma in a win the other night. Good win
Damn.
for him. But he plays for Fred. You don't have to play defense. Yeah, he was their leading scorer. He had a great game. 29 points the other night.
Yeah, oh my God. Okay, I just pulled up the box score for Creighton's blowout loss to Gonzaga.
Oh, that was
They lost
pitiful.
90 to 63.
It was horrible.
I've got Owen Freeman's stats. 15 minutes, he started. 2 points, 3 rebounds.
Dude, that's sad, too, because he is really talented.
Josh Dix was 1 for 9 from the floor, 7 points in 26 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Both of those guys, really. It's like they're better players than that. But
they're good little players.
But I know, but I just think that they were in this system where they could do whatever the hell they wanted for so long.
Yeah.
And then now you got to go and you're playing, where you have to play defense, and it's like it's hard. It's hard to do that as a junior. It's easy to do that as a freshman because it's all you learn. It's really difficult to burn that out of your system.
Also, after you've just been paid a lump sum.
Yes. Like enough for most people to just put in an account and live off of the rest of their life. It's what these guys are getting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so looking ahead to this week before we wrap things up, Iowa State is a 3.5-point favorite over Kansas. I think I saw Iowa a 16.5-point favorite at home against Michigan State. Both it's a 2:30 kick for Iowa. Iowa State kicks at 11.
Still can't get an 11 a.m. kick in Iowa City.
I'll be in Vegas. 9 a.m. kick for me for the Cyclones.
I love that. Just roll out of bed and turn on the game down there at the sports book.
Cooper and I have big plans to be at the sports book, getting all the bets placed at 8.
Hell yeah. I wonder what that crowd is going to be like in Ames. Again, I think the early kick helps. If that's a night kick, even
it'll be a respectable
2:30 kick, it would be tougher because it gets dark in the second half, and I know how these crowds go for you guys at the end of the year.
Just for instance, like my wife is going with her sister and some friends, and they were thrilled it was an 11 a.m. kick.
Is your dad going?
Yeah, he'll be there. Yeah, my dad doesn't miss a Cyclone game. Come on. I'm sure they have some extra tickets if Don wants to. I'm serious. My dad would love to host him. I'm not kidding. Even despite the rocky couple of weeks those two have had, I guarantee you he would be welcome to sit with my mom and dad. He could even bring his wife and the daughter that choked on the steak.
Didn't choke, threw up.
No.
That will not be happening. My dad will not be traveling to Ames to watch Iowa State, Kansas.
That would be like the upset of the century.
It would.
He wouldn't even come watch him play Texas when his own son was doing play-by-play.
He won't even go to Kinnick to watch Iowa play anymore. He's a shut-in. He just shuts himself in his basement and watches everything by himself.
It's a good thing Iowa's not on Big Ten Network more, though. Maybe that would get him to the game.
Yeah, right.
That broadcast.
Yeah. So what is Iowa on this week? Is it an FS1 game?
It's a Cyclone Hawkeye FS1 doubleheader.
Oh, back to back?
Yep, both on FS1.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
And this week, no AD on Instant Iowa. It'll be Todd Brommelkamp. And my goal is going to be a 30-minute show.
Because you think that Iowa's just going to blow them out?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Michigan State thing's weird. Doesn't it? Are they one of the programs where NIL has just hurt them? Because they could, when they had D'Antonio, they could, the culture thing, and they could just grind it out.
Well, losing D'Antonio was the key. I mean, he was a really good coach.
Yeah, and he could develop, and you had all that. Like, you could still, there's a lot of players in the area. You're getting seconds from Michigan and Ohio State and stuff. But now, like, they're just they're never going to be able to compete financially with a lot of the big dog. I don't know. Just overthinking this. By the way,
Michigan State made the 4-team playoff 10 years ago.
Not that long ago, yeah.
You don't have to tell Iowa fans. But remember, they had a streak. They owned Michigan. Owned them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope the show was therapeutic for you. Big game tonight, Cyclones, Stonehill College. Tip-off at 7. ESPN Plus.
I will not be watching that game. I promise.
Oh, I will. I'm not going to it, but I'll watch it. Matty Van Wink's producing the program as always. He's bigger, he's better, he's bolder than ever. We are presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. We will be back on our normal Wednesday night time slot this week here on Cyclone Fanatic. Not Cyclone Fanatic, Iowa Everywhere, excuse me. Got a lot going on. Iowa Everywhere.
That might be the first time you ever done that.
I've never. It's shocking. You'd think I would have done it
You
before.
made it 3 years.
Yeah. All right. Iowa Everywhere. Later.